Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks. Welcome to our Friday's webinar. I'm trying to do this every Friday. We call it like a lunch and learn. And today, this week's topic, we're going to talk about how to create an online marketing strategy with social media. And once again, for you guys that don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Wooldridge. And what I urge you guys to do is if you have any of your Facebook or Twitter accounts, I urge you to use this hashtag, pound hashtag TWool9 and hashtag web marketing, because I'd like to see who's posting, and I'd like to comment and reply to you and find out who you are and learn more about you. And if you have those hashtags, and that's something I can tell you later on why the importance of hashtag and how it's becoming almost a mainstay, and even in the mainstream media, you'll notice that hashtag in TV shows, and there's a reason for that, and I'll go ahead and talk about that as we go along. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and proceed, read the presentation, and many people want to know, why social media marketing is important. Well, this diagram kind of explains how and why social media is critical. If you think about the days when you was in high school and you always had the cool, one or two cool kids, and whatever clothes or jeans or whatever they did, a lot of people wanted to be like them, and those are the people that always are replicated. So everybody wants to be in them, and everybody want to be like them. So they are known what you call as a brand influencer. So if you was to market some jeans and you want to sell it to a lot of teenagers, you just find out who the cool kids is, and then you give it to them for free and watch them wear it, and let them talk about it to their friends. And next thing you know, it'll go viral, and everybody wants that jeans because the cool kids always wear them. Well, that's kind of something similar that you want to use when you market social media. So in this diagram, you'll see that Amy is in the middle, and she's a brand influencer, and she draws all her influence from another top influencer. Now, that top influencer has several followers, just like Amy has several followers. And eventually, as you can see in the third tier, there's people following Amy, and they could be a brand influencer as well. So just by looking at this, you can see how cost-effective advertising it is, because you're just targeting a certain influencer, and she will replicate and become an advocate for your brand. And this is why social media is so important when you add it to your regular marketing strategy. So this picture in itself can tell you a lot of things. So that's why you need to get into social media marketing for your business. Now, there's many different steps that you can take to handle social media, because there are so many different sites that you can tackle. You can go into YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare. There's tons of social media um, that you can tackle. So, how can you choose? Well, a couple weeks ago I had met this lady. Her name was Tracy Cright, and she talked about having baby steps when you're starting a social media campaign. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain what she taught me and what I had read in her book about baby step process. So what it is on step one, what you want to do on your baby steps is you need to understand your customer profile. What social media platforms are they hanging out? When you think about, for like example in this graphic on the demographics of social media, this tells you the age of people that are in the social media. So if you look at people on Facebook, you see what their average age range is. if you see females and you see where all the females are doing. And this is just one small slice when it comes to age. And so there's way more demographics that you can use to target which social media platforms that you want to use. For example, Pinterest. Pinterest is highly dominated by a lot of women between the ages of 35 and up, and most of them are families with kids, and they like to see pictures of arts and crafts, pictures of food. Those seems to be very popular. Now, if you're in that type of market, the arts and craft, or maybe you're in a restaurant business, that's the place that you need to hang out the most, because that's where your target audience is. Now, if you're more into bands or music industry, all those bands and music, they're hanging out in MySpace. Even though MySpace has a smaller footprint and they're not as big as they used to, they had created a little niche for all the bands and stuff, because they're more community focused, more the underground artists, up and coming music artists are using Facebook. Now, if you're into more of B2B, business to business, then all the businesses are hanging out at LinkedIn, and you can target many different businesses in LinkedIn, and you can actually search and find out who is in charge, or who's the followers, and you can find out a lot of information about a business just by utilizing LinkedIn. So this is just a small demographic. You can talk several days, several hours, just trying to figure out who your target market is hanging out on which social media platforms. Because even large social media platforms like Facebook, they have subgroups within their communities as well that you can target. So that's step one, is find out where your consumers are hanging out at. Okay. Step two, like Tracy has said in her book, that she takes real small baby steps and handle it very slow. So like I said originally in the previous slide, number one, what area do you want to target? Like what social media platforms that you want to target. And also, if you have a local store around the area, if you have a restaurant, you need to figure out what neighborhoods and such that you want to target, because that's a good thing about social media, especially Facebook. You're able to target within 5 or 10 mile radius around where your address is, all the users that are Facebook. So it's highly targeted. Number two, you need to figure out what your how your competitors are using social media. If you see that they're continuing to use it for a long time, you know it works. If you notice that they're using a particular platform or a particular method and all of a sudden they stop, then chances are it was not a good method for them. So you don't want to make those same kind mistakes. Number three, you need to identify your unique selling position or proposition. What separates your brand or your product from all the other competitors in your particular niche? And number four, who can you network and partner with to help leverage your brand? And this all goes back to the original slide with the brand influencers. You need to find out and reach out the people that have a large following and try to get with them to see if you can work out some kind of relationship or a partnership to help leverage your brand. And then finally, you need to figure out how much time can you dedicate yourself to social media. Now, that's one of the many challenges, especially small businesses, is that your time is very crucial, and there's only so much time in a day. Are you going to spend a lot of your time working on social media, or are you going to spend a lot of your time delivering on your product or your service? Unfortunately, most small businesses don't have the time or dedicated staff or resources just to focus on that one particular niche. They still have to deliver and provide customer service. So it's important that you figure out like how much time you can dedicate. Okay? So step 3. This is something that I have talked earlier um, in the process, is you have to have a proper website structure from your main website. I'm sorry, whoever just joined, can you mute your phone? Yeah, please mute your phone. Okay, thank you. Okay, now it's important that you have a proper website structure to show the relevancy to your social media platforms. Now, number one is important because Google, when Google does search and indexes your pages, they make sure that you have a proper linking structure to show how relevant your product or service is. So you need to have the basic 5 pages. You need to have an About Us page. You need to have a product or services page. You need to have a portfolio page, or if you're not don't have a portfolio, you will need to have case studies of your existing clients or services. Secondly, you got to have a blog. I mean, all the major corporations have a blog, and they know that there is a big value in having a blog itself because it's something that's very trending. It's still the new buzzword. That having a blog is something that is just as important as you having a telephone and an email for your business. And then finally, you got to have a contact us page. You got to have a way where people can get a hold of you. And this is just not just slapping a form on it. You got to put an address, emails, maybe even an interactive map that you can use for Google. Those are some of the things that you need to have in your on your website. So there's several others that we talk about when I tell people, but these are your basic 5 components that you need to have on top of your menu. Number 2, you should list your entire leadership team and with personal LinkedIn profiles. Now this is something that you would put on the About Us page. If you see a lot of, especially the newer companies like that use some of the newer startups, you'll notice that on their About Us page, they will list a picture and put a brief bio of all the CEOs, the CEO, all the executive leadership team, and even I've seen some go into more detail and even talk about the administrative assistant. So it's always good to have that, just a brief bio, a picture, and contact details directly if they have a phone number directly, and also, like I said, the LinkedIn profile. Because if in the LinkedIn profile, Google will search and they'll spider, and if they see that the LinkedIn profile is very relevant to whatever your company is, it's just going to create that much more of authority and give you higher search engine rankings as well, and you'll be rewarded with that. Number 3, on your blog, you need to be very interactive, and ideally the best way to do it is using a comment system and using a Facebook comment system. And what's good about this is when they post a comment on your blog, not only is it going to be on your blog, but it's also going to be listed into their Facebook profile as well if they didn't uncheck, only not to show public. But so you can see the value in that, especially if they are a brand influencer. So if somebody posted a comment about your latest jeans that you're launching, and they posted a comment about it, now their followers are seeing, hey, well, let me check out what these new jeans are, and it's got such a positive review. Okay. Number 4, always informative. Always provide informative content. And that's how you become a leader in your community. And that's what you want to do is when you have a social media platform, you want to be the leader. You want to be the person, the go-to person, or the go-to company of whatever their particular product or niche. Okay. All right. So. Okay, this is step 4. I can see I forgot to update it, but this is step 4. Is you need to set up all profiles on every social media. I know, it's a lot, but you want to make sure that you secure your brand or your product or your service, because you don't want no one else to hijack it from you. But just even though you do create all those accounts, just number one, just pick one or two platforms that are exclusive. That something that you use on a regular basis. If even if you don't have YouTube, just still have a YouTube account, because like I said, you don't want no one else to hijack your brand and take it from you. So just keep an eye and be mindful of any new social media platforms that you just go ahead and hurry up and register it and create the profiles, and leave it alone if you're not doing it. But at the very least, you want to keep it, and make sure that your profile and your about us is kind of congruent, because then the search engines and other social media members, they recognize that brand, because there's some congruency and everything is the same, nothing is different, and there was no question that these two match. Okay, so number two, one way that you want to do is use one email to create all your major social media accounts. The reason is that creating a lot of accounts, you can easily get confused or lost or totally forget. But if you use one email, it doesn't necessarily, it's probably better just to create a new email account. The reason why I say that is when you hire new or hire new staff, you want them to have the ability to check the email, so they'll keep track of all the accounts and respond or comment appropriately. Because if you use that one email and use it on your personal account or your own main account, it might be a little more difficult. So if you create a separate email and just use that one email and dedicate it to all your major social media accounts, they'll help you track accordingly. Number three, you want to use RSS apps to communicate to multiple profiles at the same time. And what RSS apps is, and this particular one I use is called Graffiti RSS. And the way I have it set up is, if I'm posting a comment on LinkedIn, well, LinkedIn will notify my Twitter account, and then my Twitter account will notify my Facebook account. So that way I don't have to. Update each of the site multiple times. With a RSS app, you can literally update several social media profiles all at once. And then number four, it's really important that you properly train your staff. When I talk to a lot of people that have social media, they're always like, oh yeah, they get the college intern, or they get so-and-so son or daughter to manage all their social media. That's fine, because conventional wisdom says that, hey, these kids are growing up with social media. But just bear in mind that yes, they might have grown up on social media, but they've all only done it as a social aspect and not a business aspect. And there's a complete difference in that. These kids are just talking about what they did last night. Who and who was dating, and some crazy pictures that they just posted up. And that's not the kind of stuff that you want to put as and represent as in your business. So you clearly have to train your staff about how to properly communicate with people. We don't want to cause an online fight or online disagreement, or have some kind of politically incorrect comments posted, because you don't want to have a PR nightmare. And it's very easy to cause a PR nightmare in social media, because things can go viral very quickly. And so just be very careful to do that. So next. So then the next step is you want to use what you have, meaning that you want to identify your sphere of influence to expand your social media profile. So if you have an accountant, tell your accountant to check your website out, and then maybe have your accountant tell all her clients as well to check out your website. if you have, friends and families. I know a lot of people want to separate their business and their personal, but let them know and say, hey, this is something I think will be of value. Please help me, like the page or subscribe to the page. So there's probably many people that that are very popular, and maybe some of them are brand influencers as well, and to help you expand. And then you use your employees or your staff, have them communicate with their friends and family and say, hey, this is my new job, or so and so. Okay. So and then secondly, you can purchase advertising. I know Facebook is very targeted, and you see the ads on the right hand side. You can purchase advertising, and one thing good about it is when you have one person like an advertising, well, they just let everybody in their friends or followers that you just liked it. So especially with Facebook, there's a viral aspect to promoting to purchase advertising as well. Okay, and then finally, it's not recommended, but if you want to have an impact and provide social proof that say, hey, I got a lot of people liking my site, because a lot of people have a tribal mindset when it comes to purchasing stuff, and no one likes to be the first, except for a couple of brand influencers, but everybody follows the pack. So if they notice that there's 1,000 people liking your webpage, they will automatically assume, say, hey, this must be a good quality product or service. So you can buy likes from services like, you can check out Fiverr.com or microworkers.com, and you can see very cost-effective means to purchase likes. Now the problem is that most of the likes might not be your target market. Meaning that they might be a lot of, because if you're a restaurant in Atlanta, where I live in, it will not make no sense how you have 1,000 likes from somebody in the Philippines. So that's something to look out for. I mean, the quality of likes is probably not going to be optimum, but at least you got a lot in to provide the social proof in it. Okay. So step 6 is to monitor and interact with your with people in your social media circle and your followers and your friends. So worst thing you want to do is you don't want to be the person that always talks about their business. Don't always pitch your product. Don't always keep on being in their face and always being commercialized, because just like anything else, nobody likes to be sold to. Everybody hates watching commercials. So how do you avoid that? You just want to be helpful and be active. Offer some value to your subscribers. If you sell, if you're a cook or you're a chef, explain how to make a proper roast. Go into make a YouTube video and say, here's the steps to check. Here's proper steps to have the best pot roast, or this is how you make a souffle. Have some kind of value that that your friends or followers will enjoy. And then number 4, find out who the brand influencers are. So if you have a follower, see who kind of take some time to look at some of your followers or your friends and see if they have a lot of friends or followers as well. So if you notice that you have one person that's very active in your community or into your social media platform, you always notice that they're commenting, you need to point those people out, and you should have a one-on-one conversation with them and see how you can help each other. So these 4 steps can really improve your social media platform. Okay, so okay, I see a misspelling. Thank you, not thanks you. I'm so sorry about that. I'd like to thank Tracy Crite. Like I said, she had inspired me to create this this training program. So that's her contact information, and she can go into much more in detail of her baby step process. My information is below. And like I said, I would really appreciate if you use that hashtag so I can track the comments and interact with you guys as well. So you can use that either on Twitter, Facebook. It doesn't matter, but I know that this is something unique that I'll be able to see. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or go to my websites, post a comment, get on Skype and ask a question. And thank you very much for participating, and have a good day. Thank you.